Good afternoon. Welcome to the new user training one-on-one. Before we get started, please do not forget to get all of your paperwork signed, scanned, and emailed to your paperwork to your specific trainer. And before your actual training, please complete all of the training videos. Now let's get started a little bit more about the whole system. What is HMIS? HMIS stands for Homeless Management Information Systems. It means local information technology system used to collect client level data and data on the provision of housing and services to homeless individuals and families and persons at risk of homelessness. For HMIS, this is pretty much the software that is being used overall. And in our cases, HMIS software consists of Service Point. Via Link. The agency Via Link provides information referrals, training, and crisis intervention to people, organizations, and communities so they can help themselves and others. What we do specifically in the HMIS department, it includes technical support, training, data analysis, reporting, compliance management, developing and maintaining workflows, and more. What is the COC? The COC stands for Continuum of Care, a community with a unified plan to organize and deliver housing and services to meet the specific needs of people who are homeless as they move to stable housing and maximize self sufficiency. HUD funds many homeless programs and HMIS implementations through Continuum of Care's grants. The COC in our case will be Unity. HMIS Lead is the central organization that will house those individuals who will be directly involved in implementing and providing operational training, technical assistance, and technical support to participating agencies. The HMIS lead in our case is ViaLink. Program types. So here's a little bit more about the Continuum of Care HUD programs. Rapid rehousing. Rapid rehousing provides homeless individuals and families with rental assistance and housing search and placement services that allow clients to quickly move from a state of homelessness into permanent housing. Permanent housing. Permanent housing is an intervention that combines affordable housing assistance with voluntary support services to address the needs of chronically homeless people. SSVF promotes housing stability among very low income veteran families who reside in or are transitioning to permanent housing. ESG, Emergency Solution Grants, assist individuals and families quickly regain stability in permanent housing after experiencing a housing crisis or homelessness. HOPWA, the only federal program dedicated to the housing needs of people living with HIV and AIDS. RIE, Runaway and Homeless Youth Programming, including street outreach, emergency shelters, and longer term transitional living maternity group home programs. PATH, Projects for Assistance in Transition from Homelessness. This includes outreach, screening and diagnostic treatment, community health, substance use disorders treatment, and more. One of the main programs that you're going to hear a lot about is coordinated entry. Coordinated entry pretty much means HUD requires each COC to establish and operate a centralized or coordinated assessment system, referred to as coordinated entry or coordinated entry process, with the goal of increasing the efficiency of local crisis response systems and improving fairness and ease of access to resources, including mainstream resources. Both the COC and the ESG program interim rules require use of the COC's coordinated entry process, provided that it meets HUD requirements. Coordinated entry processes are intended to help communities prioritize people who are most in need of assistance. They also provide information to COCs and other stakeholders about service needs and gaps to help communities strategically allocate their current resources and identify needs for additional resources. Next up, we're going to discuss the data collection stages that you will go through. This is pretty much giving you a snapshot of what is going on with a client from the start to the end to finish. Record creation. This is when a client record is created in HMIS. This pretty much sums up the things such as your name, date of birth, social security number, veteran status, race and ethnicity, and gender. Project start. Project start is when a client enrolls in a program. Project. This is specifically when a person actually enters the project at your agency. Interim update. When clients report a change, this is pretty much any changes or updates to their current situation while they're in your specific program. This can include such things as income, non cash benefits, or disabilities, or even insurance. Interim annual assessment. This is kind of like an update. It's just an update for the year for individuals who are in programs for 365 days. Project exit. When a client exits the program, project, this is pretty much giving an understanding of what exactly is going on when they are leaving your program and where they're going next. Some things to understand when dealing with data, especially within our system for the Unity COC. Data accuracy is one of the most important things to always keep in mind. And that's a component of data qualities and refers to whether the data value stored or for an object are the correct value. So making sure that all of the information in the system is correct for your clients. And for us, that means that having 2% or less errors in the system for your programs. Data completeness. It looks at how much of the data fields for any given client project enrollment provider, agency, or systems are filled in or answered. Is everything in the actual program project client intake actually completely filled out? We require that everyone's profiles be at least 98% or higher of completion. Data timeliness. Entering data into HMIS in a timely manner is necessary to ensure that clients receive the services they need in a quick and efficient manner, meaning that everything should be in the system soon as the client actually enters into your project. Within our system, we require everything to be put into the system within 24 hours. A little more about some of the universal data elements that you're going to come into contact with. The first set is the universal identifier elements, like we discussed a little bit earlier. These are name, social security number, date of birth, race, ethnicity, gender, and veteran status. These are the things that are follow all of the clients from their profile, wherever program project that they actually go to. Next up is the universal project stay elements. These are things that go specifically with the client for that specific project that they enter. And this includes disabling condition, project start date, project exit date, destination, relationships ahead of household, client location, housing move-in date, and prior living situation. Next up is the common program specific data elements that you're going to see on pretty much most of the projects that you see in our system. Income and sources, non cash benefits, health insurance, disability types such as physical, mental, substance abuse, chronic health, developmental, and HIV/AIDS, domestic violence, current living situation, date of engagement, coordinated entry assessment, and coordinated entry event. In addition to that, you will have more specific actual questions in the system based off of the type of program that it is, as well as other Unity COC questions you may come in contact with. Next up, why is data important? The big thing is data helps to direct the change for our community locally, as well as regionally, as well as nationally. Requirements are based, all of the why the data is important is because requirements are based on funding the COC receives. All of our programs are required to go through a specific set of requirements in order for us to get funding. Data quality or lack thereof can directly affect the funding opportunities for providers. Accurate reporting for federal, state, and local funding, the ability of the COC and providers within the COC to tell the story of homelessness as realistically and completely as possible. The data entered into HMIS directly affects clients through the coordinated entry process and may determine which services they may or may not be eligible for. Pretty much, the data helps give us a good snapshot of homelessness for the client as well as for what's going on in our area to help us create solutions for these clients as well as to figure out trends and things that we can do to actually help people over time. Another, a few other things that we're going to discuss is client confidentiality and security procedures. These are a few things that you need to keep in mind when using computers, having intake, and different other areas. First up is client confidentiality and consent to share. We require that at every intake location, there is a HMIS privacy notice visible. Client confidentiality and consent forms are signed by all clients, but also due to COVID, that there are different consent opportunities available. User authentication, that includes no password sharing, never keep passwords and usernames in public spaces, and never use internet browsers to store passwords. Hardware security measures, that includes virus protection and firewall are present on your computer. Service point security measures, that also includes that service point should not be public facing visible to clients or anyone entering your office, as well as client records should be stored in a locked file cabinet or in an actual locked room. If you also have any questions coming up, you can request anything you need from the HMIS staff at ViaLink. And you can contact us at 504-899-6519. But it is also best to contact us via email at hmisdept@vialink.org or check out our website at vialinkhmis.org. Thank you so much, and I hope you enjoy your actual training.